Yes, good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel. I say good afternoon. I don't know what time it is when this is being released, but it is good afternoon for us. I'm welcoming Matisse. How you
Come
doing,
on.
bro? Well,
I'm good, bro. Big up. Listen, like I was saying to you before, my team ain't playing, so I'm a happy man right now. Do you know what I mean? There's no stress. There's no stress on my forehead. So we're good, man. We're good.
so what a great time to get a number of questions in about Chelsea Football Club. Then don't get me wrong, there are many that aren't Chelsea, but for anyone at home that hasn't seen these, I'm sure you have by now. We've done about 40 of these so far. 10 in 10. It's a chance for me to speak to quality content creators, ex-pros, pundits, and ask them 10 questions in 10 minutes. So Matisse, are you ready to go?
I'm ready. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Now that you told me it's not a quiz, let's do it.
It's not a quiz, man. This is nice and easy. And listen, you can't be wrong. These are your opinions. First question is nice and simple. Who is the best Chelsea manager in the Premier League era and why? You've won a lot, lots of winners. Who's the best and why?
I think, yeah, for sure, it has to go to Jose Mourinho. I think Ancelotti's in a close second, but it has to go to Mourinho because of the 3 titles. Obviously, starting this era as well with the double, the first 2 titles in a row, and then obviously coming back and doing it in a different time with different players in a different squad. So he's won our most Premier League titles as an individual. He's won us cups. He made us mean, and he's an absolute character as well. You know, when you talk about press conferences, you talk about, you know, rivalries with Liverpool, Rafa Benitez, Wenger, slogans, memes, everything. He was a proper character. He is the definition of Chelsea. That's the best version of ourselves. Not incredibly likable, but definitely memorable. So yeah, what a man. He's definitely the best.
Off the back of that, this isn't one of the questions. Would you have him back now over Poch?
No. Now that no chance. I leave him.
Sailed.
That's in the past. We leave that where that is. 100%. Let's not ruin it.
Love it, Jose. I'm glad he did more for you than he did for us. But
yes.
Hey, we move on. Who is the best Chelsea player in the Premier League era? And again, you've had some top players to pick from here.
Yeah. I think for Premier League era specifically, that's brilliant because I'm going to go with Lampard. You know, this guy every single year, consistent, didn't pick up any injuries, banged in 20 goals a season, stepped up in big moments, controlled games for us, launched in long shots, brilliant passer, creator, fantastic provider for Drogba and obviously vice versa as well. So yeah, he was absolutely pinnacle, you know, the pinnacle there at the Reebok, getting those couple of goals in the title win, and then it just, you know, just rumbled on from that moment. So especially when you could see he was never one of those players that was guaranteed to like make it at the top level after all the doubt that he had at West Ham to then go on and do what he became to, you know, what he became to be, which was our record goal scorer. Definitely has to be Frank Lampard. But it's tough competition because there's some serious players alongside him. But I'm gonna edge it towards him.
Yeah, I mean, they don't make players like that anymore. I can't think of any midfielders now that score that volume of goals. So, yeah, listen, top player, Frank Lampard, top player. Where will Chelsea finish this season and why? And you've only got 60 seconds. I know this could probably be an hour, but
wow.
Where are you going to finish and why?
I desperately need us to finish in the Champions League spot, but if I'm predicting the way we're moving right now, it's looking very inconsistent, and we might just miss out. I'm gonna probably say 6th, but it depends. You know, if the window, maybe if we bring in a top striker, you never know, things might change. But I'm gonna predict 6th right now because we're inconsistent. I think we can go on a run of wins, but I also have to put respect on the teams ahead of us, like the Newcastles, who really aren't going anywhere. It's pretty clear that they're not to be moved. You know, they got a great point against PSG. You know, they beat us. So you have to look at the rest of the league and think, are we as mature as them? Do we go through the tough moments? You know, do we face the onslaught of attacks and get through it as well as they do? Probably not. Are we as clinical as them? Probably not. So yeah, I think unfortunately right now it's looking like we're going to miss out, but we hope.
Work to be done. As long as you finish above Lawless's West Ham, right? Is that the...
Yeah, it's true. Because if I don't, I won't hear the end of it. Damn right.
Yeah. I had him on yesterday. Yeah. This one's not Chelsea. Listen, this is the age-old internet football debate. It won't go away. I don't know why.
Oh.
Who is better, or who was better in their prime? Is it Messi or Ronaldo, and why?
Yeah, it's Messi for me. Always has been, always will be. The guy is an absolute magician. I think, you know, the things that he could do with a football, going past 2, 3, 4, 5 players at a time, you know, scoring incredible goals solo. as well as solo goals, an incredible provider as well, an incredible playmaker. One of the best playmakers we've ever seen. You know, if you talk about the weight of pass, the little clips over the top of defensive lines, you know, just the ability to score from any range, free kicks, anything you want, this guy can do it. And yeah, just an all-round incredible footballer, creator, provider, scorer, big game player, record holder, World Cup winner now as well, won everything.
Yeah,
Just did everything. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable player. What he did for Argentina, for me, I think for me, he was the best player before that. But then after that, it was that there was
cemented it.
Yeah, cemented. There's no conversation after that, because now it's like you've literally won your country a World Cup, and he did it almost on his own at times as well. Unbelievable at his age. Crazy.
Do you know what? I think the key thing that you just said there is that always gets overlooked. Whenever people are having this debate, they match up Messi and Ronaldo's stats, of course. But it is the work Messi does other than the stats. It's the playmaking, the dropping in, dictating play is just... I've not seen a passer of a football like him. But hey, listen, great answer. We've had a very mixed answers on this one. It's very tight. It's very tight. Next one is also not to do with Chelsea, so you got a bit of respite. If you could get rid of one thing from football, what would it be, Matisse? And we've had some out there left field answers to this one. Anything you want to get rid of, what would it be?
I think right now, I'm close to saying VAR, because as much as I actually was for it, after what happened in the Newcastle PSG game and what happened in the Wolves Fulham game, it's really starting to turn me away from it, because I feel like, yes, we're getting mistakes regardless, but now we're getting time. We're waiting for a while to get the same mistake. So it's like we're now wasting time. We're now losing the kind of instant reaction, instant, you know, dopamine of goals and celebrations and drama. We're losing all of that, and we're still not getting what we should be getting, which is the correct answer at the end of it anyway. So I don't think it's actually the technology's fault, because obviously it's the people in charge of it. But at this point, if they're not going to use it properly, because we're not going to change the people, then we may as well just scrap it all together and just, you know, just go with what we were going with for all of these, you know, tens and decades of, you know, all this time we've just played football and just dealt with the consequences of human error. So yeah, man, that it's starting to bug me now. I can't lie.
Yeah, it's crazy. I see today again more officials being sat down because of mistakes. It's got worse. But hey, listen, good answer. Yeah, let's get rid of VAR. Back to Chelsea. Worst player you have seen in a Chelsea shirt. Worst player.
Worst player. Worst player is a tough one, because we've got quite a few to pick from. If it was someone that I dislike,
not as many as when you support a team like Spurs. Trust me.
Well, we've had some pretty shocking signings. I mean, if we was talking about worst value for money or worst player I dislike the most, then it probably would be different answers. But worst player, worst player, I'd say it's probably. I mean, worst performance was probably Bakayoko against Watford. We've had some serious stinkers. It's really tough, this question.
Bakayoko, God, yeah, he was really hyped, wasn't he? As
well,
well,
he cost a lot. Out of that Monaco team, we could have got Mbappe. Well, we could never have got Mbappe, but you know, he was in that team. Bernardo Silva was in that team, and we left with Bakayoko.
Good scouting. Good scouting.
This is mad. Do you know what? Oh, this is tough. There's so many players.
You can give me 2 or 3 if you want. It's not a problem. I mean, go for 2 or 3.
I think, okay, well, I'm going to line them up. I'm going to say Bakayoko was really bad for us. I'm going to say Lukaku's second stint was horrendous for us. I'm going to say this is tough. Those 2 are right up there.
Yeah,
we've had who we had Hector, Djulaboji, so some random names as well. Babarahman, just terrible players that should never have signed for us. So much dead wood.
Do you know what? Djulaboji, I've never heard of, right? And then I did one of these last week with Goonie, and he went, worst player, and he didn't even hesitate. He went, Djulaboji, and I went, who? Like I remember a lot, but I've got to check him out.
We had Pato. We had
Pato, yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, you do tend to sign a lot of footballers at Chelsea, don't you? Yeah. Listen, all right, I'll take that. Listen, 4 to go. who is the best player to have played in the Premier League?
Mm,
You can imagine we've had a lot of the same answers, but we've had a couple of left field answers as well. So I'm interested to see what you say.
if we're talking about the best player at his peak to play in the Premier League, I think it has to be Ronaldo. I think it has to be Ronaldo for Man United, because in his, I think it was his final season.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, it's just
crazy.
he just absolutely rampage. Like, we're talking about the best player to ever play. Like, for me, Henry is like one of the, if not the best player as well to play. But obviously because he had more time, so I'm looking at his legacy as well. But if we're talking about at their absolute peak, Ronaldo probably is.
Isn't that when he won World Player? Didn't he win the Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, he won the Ballon d'Or.
Right?
It's just scoring free kicks from range and dribbling past 3-4 players and headers, and he was just complete. He was quick. He was strong. He was taking people on. He was unstoppable, literally. Unbelievable. So I'd say Ronaldo is probably the best player to have played in the Premier League. Yeah. So there's some great players, but his final season there was ridiculous.
Not my man Ginola. You're not plumbing for David Ginola.
Was I born?
Unbelievable. I don't know. It all depends on your age. It depends on your age. Yeah. Listen. Okay. 3 questions to go. If you could bring back one of these players in their prime, who would it be? Would it be a firing Drogba, who turned up in every big game that I can remember?
Wow.
Or Zola, because he was ridiculous.
I love Zola, but we do have some players in his position, I guess, that are there to create and to cause havoc. He's unbelievable. He's better than all of them. But I'm going to go to Drogba, because if this team needs anything right now, it needs leadership, which Drogba brings. It needs a striker that bangs in goals, that holds up the ball, that scores headers, Reece James crosses, and Drogba on the end of him. Oh my God. I mean, we'd be in dreamland. So he just provides a focal point, physicality, defense. And I'm taking in so much into account here. I'm taking into the fact that on near posts, on corners, this guy can help us defend set pieces, which we're terrible at the moment as well. Not even just from an attacking standpoint. He takes free kicks as well. We're terrible with free kicks. Obviously Zola as well can smack him in, but he can take free kicks as well. We're terrible on those. So there's just so much that he brings that we don't have in Drogba. I have to say I'm leaning towards Drogba. I need a striker.
I've got this love-hate with Drogba, because as a mutual fan that is, I like to think I'm quite unbiased. Drogba was a beast. But because of Drogba, we missed out on the Champions League that year. It was like, my God, what you doing?
100%. And he's a big game player as well, man. We need someone that steps up in big games, man. 100%. Finals. We've lost 5 Wembley. To finally make my case, we've lost 5 Wembley finals in a row. That doesn't happen if Drogba's playing in those games.
There we go. Didier Drogba, the big game player. Last 2 questions. These are my favourite questions, and I don't know why. I just like these last 2. So for this one, I want to know what the worst football opinion is you've heard. Now, just a caveat, this can be a YouTuber, someone in your comments, a player, a pundit, a manager, a commentator. But you're on YouTube all day long. You must see some absolute stinkers. What's the worst football opinion?
Lee Gunner.
Who I'm filming with this in 3 hours. Love it. I'm going to tell him.
Funnily enough, it was a London Clubs Corner show years ago, and it was an unbelievable episode. So much arguments. He said that Mahrez was a better player than Neymar, and I swear to you, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I love Mahrez. He's a great player, but to say that he's better than Neymar, I just couldn't take it. Honestly, I really couldn't take it. For me, that's right up there with one of the worst. Like, it was because he was so strong about it, and he'll still tell you when you speak to him after this, he'll still tell you that Mahrez is still better than Neymar, which is, fair enough. Neymar's obviously had his injuries and whatnot, but if we're talking about an actual footballer, Neymar the footballer, the actual player, what he's capable of doing, what he has done, no. What he did in that Barcelona team, nope, we're not doing it. I'm not allowing it, and it's even rattling me right. It's even rattling me right now because it's just
it's bringing back.
Take it. Yeah.
So when I have Leon tonight and I do this, you know how I'm going to introduce this question.
Yes.
It's going to be.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Matisse said it was you. What do you?
Definitely do. That was a classic. That was insane.
Love it. And then the last question is, I want to know what is Matisse's most controversial football opinion. Something that you truly believe in, but when you say it, other people go, man, what are you talking about? But you believe it.
I've had a few. I mean, my most recent one was that we need to get rid of Kante, and that didn't go down too well. But now that he's gone, I think people would let that one slide. Most controversial. Let's think. What can we?
I mean, I always hark back to this. The what sticks in my mind is this is almost like the most controversial stroke, the worst opinion is one of your own, Rory Jennings, with the whole Erling Haaland thing. Like
yes.
That's the sort of thing I'm talking about.
I don't have something on that level. I'm not gonna lie. That
no one does.
That magnitude is. Do you know what? I guess maybe one of the most controversial ones recently was that Jackson is the baby Jesus. And that did not go down very well with Arsenal fans at all. They were not happy. And I actually rate Jesus a lot. I actually wanted Jesus at Chelsea last summer. No, the summer before last summer, before he joined Arsenal. So that's probably right now, considering Jackson is getting a lot of heat and nobody really rates him. Yeah, I'd say that's probably right now one of my most controversial ones.
Love it. Love it. I absolutely love it. Listen, we've come to the end of the 10 questions. Matisse, thank you so much for giving me 15 minutes of your time. I really appreciate it. Everybody, you know Matisse. If you don't know Matisse, the bio to his channel is in the chat. He's motoring away. He's up there now. He's in the YouTube elite. Go and follow him, Matisse Armani, and be gentle with him. His team aren't having a good year, so just be gentle. Matisse, much love. Thank you very much. As always, everybody, catch us next time for a 10 in 10. Take care. Subscribe to Football Heritage TV. And as always, come on, you Spurs.